I'm Shane, and with me as always is Trey.
Yes, I am Trey, and yes, we are back with another episode of the West Coast Podcast. Trying to stay consistent. We're dropping this episode on a Saturday instead of a Friday. We had Gonzaga play and got their shit kicked in, but that's besides the point. I already find myself $5 because I cussed in the intro, which is a shame. But we got that going on, and this is the Easter edition of the West Coast Podcast. You know, my dad told me I was probably about 12 or 13 years old. He comes up to me, he says, about 5 years ago, the Easter Bunny came to our house and he left an egg that was $1 million. And fast forward 10 or 15 years ago, I've been searching for that egg and I have yet to find it. Starting to think he was messing with me a little bit on that one, but every Easter I'm still going to be searching for it. And when I do find it, I'm going to be rich. So that is the plan for Easter. But Shane, how have you been doing? What is your thoughts on the season? Because I know you're way more invested than me as far as Gonzaga goes. And how did you feel about Easter and Gonzaga? We'll start there.
I thought, like I said, I thought that Gonzaga did a really good job. I mean, they did battle for the first half, and then foul trouble got in the way. But I'm not exactly unhappy about how the way the season ended. Hopefully they'll be obviously I'm pretty sure that they'll be back next year battling for it. Hopefully have a deeper run. They're bringing back most of their starters. Funny thing that you brought up the Easter Bunny. So for all the younger people that listen to our show, the young ones, hopefully the Easter Bunny brings you something. Hopefully he'll bring me something. But yeah, I mean, I want that. I want that $1 million egg too, though, Trey. So, you find it, bro. At least bring me to the casino, or take me to the buffet, bro. But other than that, I've been going good.
You know, like I don't even know. I mean, Santa Claus is one thing, but the Easter Bunny, I mean, I feel like you have to be pretty young to still believe in the Easter Bunny, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, no, definitely. Hopefully, the Easter gets into you. And actually, we do have the Easter Bunny in Madden. Okay, we have the I forget what they call it. It's the Easter promo. They had some kind of fancy thingamajig on what they called it, but they do have an Easter promo. So if you guys are out there and you grinded, you know, you got the egg basket that's going to be opening on Sunday. Hopefully, you guys get some good players. I got a few baskets myself. So Shane, is that something that you have been doing? Did you do the Christmas stuff back when Christmas, and do you remember the presents that you got in Madden, and did you in any way participate in this new Easter promo they got going on in Ultimate Team?
Nah, bro. I didn't. I didn't do any of it. What's good, Rose? She said Trey. She said best podcast on YouTube minus the Trey rants about EA, joking. LOL. And then behind Bolt City podcast, joking again. I don't even know who Bolt City podcast is. And then she said, "Didn't you see the big Easter bunny on the White House front lawn telling Biden to get back in?" Yo, but no, we do have. Just so you guys know, though. I mean, you guys can do whatever, but we do have some young kids. Just so you guys know, like real young kids, not even like 10 or 11. But anyway, so yeah, the Easter bunny hopefully brings me something good, man. Bring me something, just like Santa. Shout out to all our youngsters out there that listen on to the podcast. No, I really didn't do anything, Trey. I think maybe I did Christmas actually. Now that I think about it, but I definitely did not do Easter. I have not put one more dollar into this game besides the 405 that you see on my screen right now. Hopefully, keep winning tournaments. That goes into my PlayStation wallet, and then it'll be a free Madden 25 for me. But, anyways, I did you do it, Trey? Did you do the Easter challenges?
Alright, so basically what I got from, Shane going over that is that he's against fun. He doesn't do Christmas, okay, that's one thing, and he's not, doing Easter so that when he wakes up on Sunday, if the Easter Bunny doesn't bring him anything on Easter, he can say, hey, I got this basket, I got a 85 overall Gardner Minshew card. Like, we all know that the gifts that the Easter Bunny of EA Sports is going to give you outweighs anything the real Easter Bunny is going to give to you, but nah, so I mean, I do have a few eggs that are going to be opening on Sunday. I haven't, I mean, I could probably go on Twitter or X or whatever it's called these days and figure out what the egg is going to be, but, that just ruins the surprise. So, but yeah, I did participate a little bit, so for those of you listening live and after, hope you guys get some good eggs in Madden. I did do the Christmas ones a while back. I don't remember anything from it, but I probably got at least one or two upgrades from it. I'm not gonna sit here and say that because I didn't remember it that I didn't get a good upgrade. I probably had a few good upgrades here and there, but nothing overall to write home about. So since it is Easter, Shane, do you have any Easter memories from real life? Is there any traditions that you did growing up in the mean streets of Spokane, Washington? What do the people in the Spokane, Washington parts do for Easter generally?
So, okay, Trey, I'm not gonna ruin the surprise. What Rose said, I guess they ruined the surprise for the Easter stuff, but I am definitely not gonna ruin it for you. But no, basically what we used to do, we used to get together with a bunch of people. Obviously, people passed on, um, and then some people we don't get together with anymore because you know how families end up as they get older. Like they move on to their own, like their kids have kids and yada yada. But we used to do an Easter egg hunt. Basically, we'll just do an Easter egg hunt for the little one tomorrow, and then we'll just all hang out with my family. Like I enjoy the time with my family. Everybody's getting older. Have some good food, and just try to find some eggs. You know what I mean? Hopefully there'll be some chocolate eggs and some of the plastic eggs, and then there'll be an Easter egg scavenger hunt at my place um, for the little one as well. You know, with the Easter Bunny coming here. Um, Eggs fan, that's what's up. You're cracking eggs with your whole family. Rose wanted me to tell you, Trey, that she didn't name only one. Just tell Trey they ruined the glitch. Tell him not to look on the item catalog on Madden. No spoilers, lol. So I'm gonna swing it back to you, Trey.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure all this stuff is out there. I mean it doesn't help, because I know realistically speaking, you have something like EA Sports and you have like, a million or so people that are playing this game, so there's probably always going to be the group of people that are going to say, "Hey, this is what does this." I mean, there's spoilers, but I mean, at the same time, it's like you open up an egg and it says uh, LV, it has the Roman numerals, and then it has the promo for the Super Bowl. It's like, I wonder what that could be. Like, they could give a bitter effort and that sort of thing, but I guess that's not what EA Sports does for that. I mean, they might give effort at some places, but not when it comes to protecting their surprises in Easter and Christmas. So it is what it is. But Nah, so and I guess that would be my next question for you, Shane. I mean, you got into hanging out with the family, the scavenger hunt. Is there any memories that you have as a kid doing this? Because I did do a few scavenger hunts as a kid, and I always remember like there was like these eggs. You open it up and it's all of them is just like melted chocolate. So that's probably my thing that I remember the most. Do you remember a specific egg that you had that you remember to this day or not really? It was just like candy and all that good stuff. Oh.
Okay, so I got a couple stories, and I'm gonna add on. Yeah, Rose, take pictures of your 5-year-old and 3-year-old, and put on Twitter if you can. You know that I'm on Twitter. I'm not anywhere else. They'll have fun. X fan, you do a challenge with your family to hide eggs, and the eggs have money or a prize. That's really cool. So a couple things. So kind of like egg on my face, pun intended. But I was about 12 years old, and we were at my aunt's house, and I was with my cousin, and my whole family was outside, but my cousin and I, and we saw the Easter eggs. They were plastic Easter eggs, and she said, um, "There's money in it this year." So I'm like, "Oh, really?" And it usually, and being honest, I was a pretty good kid through elementary and even middle school, and I'm like, we should look through them and see what money is in there. So we took all the Easter eggs, went up to her bedroom, and started opening them. And my aunt came up and lost her crap, and I was embarrassed as crap. So that was embarrassing. Another one is I'm not really a good looker, right? I'm not really a good looker for like stuff like that's the whole joke. Like, if you put like a poisonous snake underneath a little blanket with its tail hanging out, I wouldn't even notice it at first. Like, that's kind of the whole joke. Like with me, well, so way back in the day, my youngest cousin is 11 years younger than me, and at the time that she was like 3, and we did an Easter egg hunt. Then we are done, and I didn't do really well, and like my brother was joking on me, and then like couple of our my aunt and uncle were laughing. Well, my youngest one wanted to, um, go out and do another Easter egg. So that I had them hide it again, and me and her went out, and she's like, "You're completely awful." And she was like 3 at this time, and I was like 14. You're completely awful at Easter egg hunting. How do you not see that Easter egg right there? And everybody started laughing at me. And I was just 14 yet, and I hadn't gone through puberty yet, and I obviously reacted poorly. And I picked up the Easter egg, and I fired that son of a gun. Like, I'm not even joking you. Like, I fired it so far, it went sailing over my parents' shed, sailing into the trees because we lived in the country. Yeah, it was like I was like, damn, dude, that was pretty bad, embarrassing. Rose said Trace about to tweet F this promo on Easter on EA Sports. It's a scam. Yeah, X said, yeah, I'm not good at noticing stuff, but those were basically the two things that stuck out like a sore spot for me. Trey is snooping through the plastic Easter eggs to see how much money there is, and getting made fun of by a 3-year-old when I was a teenager.
All right, sounds pretty eventful. I mean, you got Shane over here talking about having poisonous snakes with a tail under a blanket. Um, that might be one thing. If someone tells you, hey, you have a poisonous snake under a blanket, it might not be what you actually think it is. Just kind of putting that out there. So, all right, so fast forward, we got some NFL news. Shane, what's your opinion? Obviously, you've probably seen we have the new kickoff rule, and we have the NFL putting a ban on the hip drop tackle. Did you see it, and what's your take on the whole rule changes coming up this season? What?
I'm gonna answer a couple things real quick. I didn't hear about Trey Lance going to the Cowboys, and yeah, I was rage quitting Easter. That's facts. Um, the kickoff looks weird as hell, Trey. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, that kickoff looks weird as hell. But if they make it so there's more kickoffs again. That would be kind of cool, you know what I mean? Because the last couple years it was like nothing really special anymore. The hip drop tackle, I just think that it's going to be a mess for next year. I think there's going to be a lot of flags, a lot of, well, do you really think that was a hip tackle? I wouldn't doubt if it was reinstated, but in a different way, so it wasn't the hip tackle anymore, like at the end of the year or the following year. But I don't know, like the hip tackle, I don't know much about it. I know what they do, like I know the hip tackle, but like I just don't want the game to be offensive so much where it's like 42-35. If I want to watch that, I'll watch arena football.
Yeah, Shane, and that's another thing, and and I'm glad Shane brought up arena football because, this guy I've been talking to him. He's from Spokane, so they had the Spokane Shock who had some good years up there. They won the Arena Bowl 29. They rebranded to the Empire a few days, but I used to go up there have a few games, but Shane, he's not into that at all. It's Shane's too cool to watch. Football where it's high scoring and all that. He's more of a Spokane Chiefs hockey kind of guy, if I'm correct on that. So yeah, it's gonna be a cluster, with the whole hip drop tackle. And it's like even the examples, like I was watching a few of the examples they had about, hey, this is going to be the tackle that is banned, and they all look different. Like there's not one or two plays that look different, or you can be like, oh, okay, well that's not what you're supposed to do. It's like every example they got is different, and it's just going to be a cluster. I feel bad for the refs that are going to have to be there and try to referee it. I'm hoping, and I think that this is going to be the case where, a couple years ago they banned the horse collar tackle. And I'm pretty sure when that was, introduced, people were probably all up in arms about that one at the time. But then, you get like, 2 or 3 seasons in and no one even thinks about it anymore. So, maybe I'm hoping that's the case for this new rule, but I guess we will wait and see. But it's definitely crazy. Oh, and I think I could be wrong, but I think they did say that they're going to be adding like a third challenge flag. So like if you win the first one, you get another one, something like that. The game the games are going to be. They say, oh, we're trying to have a 3 hour window. With that, it's probably going to be even more, but it is what it is. So Shane, talk to me about what you're doing lately. You've been, doing the tournaments, the PSN tournaments. I think you're, back-to-back championships in that. So, are you having fun doing that? Is it fun to stream? And is there anything that sucks about it that you want to change, or how has that been going for you?
Okay, let me answer you, Trey. Let me answer Rose. Let me see X Fan. Yeah, so Eddie, but like Trey, I don't know. You can answer this afterwards. But I don't know if you know about the guy destroying. My oldest and I watch his videos. We've been watching his videos. I think for like 4 years now. Way back when he was trying to make it, and then like make the NFL, and then he went from that to making videos like one-on-one football players going against each other, which is really cool. And now he's in the, I believe, the UFL or whatever it's called, and he made the team, and he's trying to get there to the NFL. So I've been watching his whole videos with my oldest. It's really really cool. Rose, yeah, I mean, I do understand like certain things. Like I definitely don't get it twisted. I don't want there to be zero flags, or I mean zero tackling. Excuse me. I don't want it to be where there's zero tackling and it's like 56-49 two-hand touch. I mean, they know that this is a dangerous sport, right? So at the same time, I understand the whole like they know what they're getting into. Like I grew up in the '90s where like it was CTE though, so I understand where like they toned it down a little bit because like they were like launching with their head into another man, and you know how fast they all run and stuff and how big they are. So it definitely put lesions on the brain on that. But like they can't make it where it's so overprotective where it does become where like all the final scores are 56 to 49. I probably wouldn't pay attention much, and I'm being honest if that happened. Um, Going to you, Trey. So honestly, like I just put it with like my youngest is a little bit old enough where he can be doing stuff with my oldest while I stream in that 2 3 hour window. I really did miss streaming. I'm glad that I'm back and doing it all this year. Also, I take a break when MCS is going on until like midway through, and then I'll stream a bunch again, just like next year will happen. But yeah, I've been like you said, I've been streaming PlayStation tournaments, and it's way better than doing just free head to head. Which nothing against anybody who is doing that. Like if they want to do that, like really cool. Just like people that brag about the head to head regs where on the leaderboard they're number one. That's all cool. Like honestly, like to each their own and for all that. But like these tournaments, there's some money involved. It's not a lot of money, but there's a drive if that makes sense. There's a competitive edge. Like if I win enough tournaments, I won't have to pay for the next Madden. And if I win a bunch of the tournaments, I'll be getting a free bundle plus a free game. So hopefully next year sometime, probably in the spring or summer, the way things are going, I will be able to be doing money games. It might be Madden 26 where it's money games completely and MCS and MUT, and that's when I would still be putting money in right now if I was doing money games. But definitely sometime at the end of next year, or the end of next Madden, I will be doing money games again like I used to. People remember that. Some of you don't. And then Madden 26, I'll be doing money game and tournaments hella because then I can do whatever I want. What'd you say, Rose? Oh yeah, I mean, I could see them doing a waiver. Like a lot of defensive players are upset at the move, but that's where I'm at, Trey, with everything.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I can understand as a defensive player. Um, it started, when Peyton Manning, I'm a Bill Belichick guy, but, it started out with Peyton Manning back in 2002 when we would just beat the brakes off of Peyton Manning pretty much every year, unless he was getting like a 26-point comeback or whatever. And then him and a bunch of other quarterbacks were complaining that we were too physical on wide receivers at the line of scrimmage. And pretty much just evolved into what it is now. But, I mean, what can you do? I mean, you just gotta go out there, try to D up as best as you can. And, yeah. So yeah, and yeah, and also going back to what you were saying earlier, Shane, I do watch Destroying quite a bit. He's makes some very good videos. He's a really good content creator. I like him a lot, and that's awesome that he got into the UFL. The UFL actually kicked off today. It's kicking off today. I wasn't able to watch the games today because they're on Fox, but tomorrow on Sunday they got a few games that I'm probably going to check out that are streaming on the ESPN app, so pretty excited to get into some spring football action for sure. So there's that. And I guess with that being said, Shane asked me this before we started the podcast. I actually didn't even know that he made a video about this. Apparently he made a video 4 days ago. You know how YouTube notifications work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Pretty inconsistent. But he did make the Madden wish list, which I think it's probably about the time. I mean, we're almost to draft now, so after the Super Bowl, the draft's coming up in 3 or 4 weeks, and then I mean it's going to be a dead period. Granted, if the new college football game comes out, which it's looking like it actually will come out. Shane and I have talked about this before, so hopefully that would be cool if we were able to get the college football game around June-ish, and then play that for a couple of months so that it's not as dead until August, and then boom, the new Madden comes out. So because I wasn't able to see the video, Shane, kind of tell me if you can remember what is, I guess, the Cliff Notes version of the video that you created, and you tell me what your kind of wish list is for this year, and then I can say if I like that idea, and I guess we'll just do that for now, dude.
So, to add on to something, I think in the past about changing the rules, and Trey, you said in a couple days, in a couple days, or not a couple days, dude. Come on, Shane. In a couple seasons, we might not notice, and we might just like the rules. I'll give you something in baseball. I hated that they implemented the pitch clock. I hated the change. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. About 2 months into it, I actually liked it. So yeah, so we'll go off that where things may change, where people might like it or just might not even notice it. You know what I mean? So it could be a possible reason that people just might not know either. Um, okay, sorry, I'm getting confused. I'm seeing stuff go on. The wish list. So I'm gonna give you a couple of them. So for Madden 25, I want pancakes to come back. Pancakes and syrup to come back. Where if they're in dollar and if they're in dollar and I'm in a power formation where my left guard runs up on their safety because they put safeties in the box, he should get knocked backwards. And if he's in a heavy defensive formation and I try to run it, I shouldn't get any pancakes. I'd like to see pancakes brought back. The reason why a lot of top pros don't want it to come back is they want to stick in one defense. They want to stick in a pass defense where they can just adjust like coverage or a blitz and not have to worry about really the run. That's why they pinch the defensive line, they crash down the defensive line, and stop the run lots of times. Now I do know how to kind of block it out. You guys saw it in the tournament where I could definitely slow it down, but it still shouldn't be like that. That's number one. And number two, my biggest thing is I think they need to cut down on the abilities. I really do. I think they need to cut it down. And I wouldn't be so mad if it was three on one side and three on the other, three on offense, three on defense, because I said this like 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, when abilities were starting to really, really take off. It probably is longer now. My brain's shot, but um, I said that the abilities would kind of ruin the game, and people were like, "Nah." The same people. There's a few people. I'm not going to name them, but few people who told me, "Nah, the abilities are cool. You don't know what you're talking about." Kind of got made fun of because I was older, and now they're the same people on X tweeting about that the abilities are ruining the game. So if people want to hear my full breakdown, go check out the video on my channel. But what about you, Trey?
Yeah, no, so definitely, like Shane said, go, if you want the more in-depth breakdown of everything, go to Shane Got You 11 on YouTube. Definitely check out the video. Probably some more videos, as, the patches start to wind down, and we're going to be getting some updates on Madden, like new additions, new features on what's going on. I think that Shane Got You 11 is the primary source on reporting for that kind of stuff. He does the patch updates pretty well, and he does the updates pretty well, so be forward to look into that. I feel like Shane Got You 11 is basically an unpaid beat writer for EA Sports at this point, so it's all good. No, but okay, so it's pretty crazy. So like when we started this podcast, I was in practice mode in Madden, and I have it like live now. I'm not actually playing it or nothing. It's just kind of in the background. And like there's just like a coach that just kind of wandered onto the field like while there's a play going on. So I was looking at that. That kind of tripped me out for a second. And the other thing you're talking about, how the MLB has the pitch timer, and at first you hated it, but then after a while you don't really think about it anymore. I mean, that's kind of how I am. Like as a Patriots fan, people, the media especially, I'm gonna throw them under the bus, are saying, "Oh, this team's not doing anything, not bringing any free agents in." And it's like at the same time you just kind of have to like just chill for a second, lay back. And there's really no point in getting all worked up for something, especially if it's like months down the road. So that's definitely what I was kind of getting at earlier when I said, few years go by, people, it'll just become the norm, and then people will just not think about it. So. But yeah, as far as your wish list ideas, I do agree with you about the whole pancake situation. I'm a little bit concerned though because, you're someone that plays Madden at a highly competitive era, so you know that if they do fix the run blocking system to where they say, hey, if the defense comes out in a nickel package or a dime package, we're going to have the offensive line bulldoze them. Well, that's all good, but, the pros on the other side, they're going to figure out a way, probably they're going to glitch the setup with a new adjustment to kind of nerf that, and then to make it to where, the thing that EA spent a large portion, maybe not a large portion, but some portion of effort trying to fix the run blocking, all of a sudden that's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter anymore. So that's probably my one concern about that. And to be honest, I kind of forgot what your other point was, aside from the people getting pancaked when they come out in nickel and dime formations. What was the other one, or was that pretty much it? I'm sorry. What was?
I just had no, you're good. I had it where it was. I think they need to lessen the abilities. Like I think three abilities on one side of the ball, offense and defensively, would be way better.
Oh yeah, so the abilities. So I know Shane, he's been pretty anti-abilities, which is fine. There's a lot of people that are pretty anti-abilities. I don't think Shane would have any problem, kind of telling you straight up that, yeah, I'm not a fan of abilities. And, I posted this on Twitter. Well, I didn't post it, but I kind of replied to it. People are saying, oh, it's awesome that EA Sports have these knockout abilities, these deep out KO abilities. Well, when I look at them personally, all I see is EA Sports are not capable of making zone defenders play their assignments properly. So, what do they do to fix this issue? Well, every time you try to throw a pass that's in a tight window and the defender touches you, you're going to drop the ball. So that's really, to me, that's kind of what abilities are. If you were to ask me, 2 years ago, I kind of liked abilities. I was pretty pro ability at first. I think that it was pretty cool, now that you have, like, for example, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, you have these quarterbacks that aren't mobile, and, before abilities, I feel like no one would really use Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, but now, when abilities were first introduced, and you're thinking, okay, well, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, they're not mobile. They can't really run the ball. However, they have the hot route master ability. They have, the pocket abilities, better accuracy from in the pocket. So maybe this is the first time I've even considered using Peyton Manning or Tom Brady that, maybe I want to skip out on the Michael Vick and the Vince Youngs and all that, and I want to go to someone who's more cerebral in the pocket. So, like my thoughts on abilities overall is I think it's definitely kind of gotten a little bit. I'm probably on Shane's side more, but I will say that I was pro ability at first, I guess, is the overall take on that. So, Shane, what is your opinion and all that? And is there any other wish that you kind of have off the top of your head, or do you think that's pretty much it for now? Obviously, when we get, closer to the actual release of the game, we'll be covering it more, but, you know what I mean.
No, I mean, basically, basically, I am at the point where like the rest will be on that video, but I do agree with you on that. Trey, I opened up two Ultimate Legend packs from the coins, the 85,000, and I just pulled a 99 to Marcus Ware golden ticket. So that's pretty
Hell
much.
yeah, also golden tickets aren't in the game, it's
Oh,
ultimate
whatever,
ticket,
whatever.
but
What I thought,
you
I
can't you
thought.
can't be I'll let you slide on some mistakes when it comes to mud, but you can't mistake golden tickets for ultimate tickets, but it's okay, go ahead.
Wow, Trey's just shooting me down on that. Whatever, golden ticket, 99 overall. I'll take the 99 overall. My bad. When do the golden tickets come out, you guys? He is a better kicker X fan than wide receiver. When did the golden tickets come out again, Trey? School me on that, sir.
Alright, so basically what the golden tickets are, I have zero idea on what they're gonna come out. Um, so essentially the concept of the golden ticket, um, I might have told you this before, so if I did tell you this, feel free to just cut me off and say I already know. I was just wondering if they came out, but so a golden ticket is when they'll come out and you'll just see them in your pack. So EA will basically uh or how they did do it. I don't know if they're gonna do it differently now, but they'll say, okay, Shane, you log into Madden, you're gonna have a pack. And in that pack, you have a very limited amount of chance to pull a golden ticket. So basically, you open up a pack, it'll say, no, you didn't pull it, no, you didn't pull it. If by chance there's probably only 10, 15 of these that are in the actual game, and it's probably going to even be worse because everything's crossplay now, so the odds of you getting it is probably even worse. But so they have 10. So if you do pull the golden ticket and it says, hey, Shane, you pulled a golden ticket, contact, Madden Ultimate Team on X. And what you're able to do with that is you can say, you can pick any player that's currently in the auction house, and you can say, I want to make this guy a golden ticket, and you can customize his ratings, what abilities he gets, etc. So that is, in fact, what is a golden ticket. Hopefully, we'll be getting that coming soon.
Got you, Trey. So yeah, I had no idea what it was. I got excited. I thought this 99 was a golden ticket. Either way, though, still pulled a 99. Shout out to me on that. But no, so another thing that I noticed on like the wish list. Actually, I'm gonna add one more thing to it. Is I still hope they bring back MUT Draft for the comp scene. Do you remember when they used to do the MUT Draft for tournaments and they would have random playbooks and all that? I really think that they need to do it and update it. I know a lot of people miss it. So, what do you think about that, Trey, on the whole MUT Draft scene?
Sorry about that. I was checking something. So, no, the mud draft is absolutely insane to me at this point. Mud draft. It came kind of when Shane, of course, Shane. When Shane was playing, Madden 16. I think that's kind of where the Shane Gayu 11 brand started. Was Madden 16. Back then it was. playing, regular teams, popping on the Gamer Saloon and beating some of the top pros. However, something pretty significant that happened, aside from that, was the new edition, which is Draft Champions. Back then it was called Draft Champions. Now it's called Mud Draft or whatever. So it dropped. Everybody loved it. I mean, like when it first came out, and really up until now, it was a mode that a lot of people liked, and it got pretty good engagement from the general community. Fast forward to now, and we have a situation where it is in the game. It is something that you can actually play in the game, but they haven't updated the pool at all. Like literally, Madden has been out for a while. I'd be surprised if they had, like even some of the Halloween players that were in the draft pool. I'm pretty sure they don't. So it is absolutely ridiculous that EA Sports has these modes. And the same thing happened with salary cap. After the whole debacle about what happened in the Madden Bowl, they were using salary cap, and Joke won with a punter at quarterback. In Madden 20, they stopped doing salary cap. And, salary cap, even at, it wasn't COD, so no one was really playing it, but salary cap was technically still in the game. And it got to the point to where they just took it out completely. I don't remember the exact Madden when they took salary cap out, but I do know that it was in the game for a while, even after that whole debacle. So I do feel like Draft Champions is kind of headed down the same path to where it's going to be forgotten. And honestly, this might be a hot take, but I would not be surprised if it just disappeared completely from this year's Madden. So do you think that could also be a chance, Shane?
I think Mutt Draft will probably be gone if they do not decide to do it competitively, if that makes sense. Like I don't think it'll be back at all. So that's where I'm at with it. I think if they do decide to do it competitively, it'll be back and they'll have cool things. But if they don't decide to do competitively, it'll be gone, Trey.
Yeah, no question. And that's funny that you brought it up because like I'm just now thinking about Mud Draft, and it's kind of funny, like hearing you say Mud Draft, and like I almost had to like think back because it's just been that long to where Draft Champions, Mud Draft, whatever has been even a thought. So it's just crazy to me that you have these things to where they can be hits early on, and then a few years later, 2 years later, I mean, we still got Superstar KO. Superstar KO was kind of the original, I guess you could say, 2v2, 3v3 kind of concept. And now it's to the point where it is still in the game. It's been in the game ever since Madden 20, and I think it's still pretty active. Me, Shane, and Soul Crusher were playing that the other day, killing everybody, of course, having a good time. But we were playing that. We weren't doing the yard where it's 3 versus 3, which, in all honesty, is probably how you want to play it, where it's just 3 people on 3 people. There's no CPU involvement. So I do like that they brought it back. So it's just, I wonder, I wonder if that works, Shane, because I'm starting to think that you're probably right on the whole competitive side of things. Because we don't know how active Mud Draft is. You could probably draft a team now and get into a game no problem, but I don't know why EA Sports doesn't update the pool. And like people will say, and then I've heard a couple people say this is like, oh well, there's no abilities in Mud Draft, so that's why they don't do it. And to me, it's like that's just an excuse, in my opinion, because if you sat me down for 5 minutes or 15 minutes, I could probably think of like two or three ways on how you're able to do mud drafts with abilities. I mean, it's really not that complex, but now it's like, oh, well, there's no abilities in mud drafts, so you can't have it anymore. It's like, what are we doing with that, honestly? But yeah, that's my overall take on draft champions. So are you hoping like do you think that there's any chance that they will do competitive on other modes, or do you think they're kind of locked in on unlimited mud so far?
I think it's always now going to be mainly unlimited mutt because that's the biggest money maker, and they know people are going to buy it. They know it's really addictive. They know people want to have the top cards, the pretty looking cards, the fresh cards. So I mean, from a greedy corporation standpoint, I think it's mainly going to be ultimate mutt from here on out, and the rest of the game modes are just going to be what they are as you see them right now.
Well, yeah, it is company greed, but you know a thing. It's also the top 1% of Shane knows a lot of them personally, but it is like corporate greed. But in this one specific situation, it's really the top 1%. I'm sorry to call out some of your favorite competitive players, Twitch streamers, but it kind of is what it is. They want to make it to where you have the top 1%. They have no problem spending an ungodly amount of money into the game so that by doing that, you're eliminating the other people that just want to hop on, make a run at a tournament, win some money. So it is corporate greed, but for that little situation that you're talking about, I do put more of the blame on the top 1%, even though it's no disrespect. Obviously, those guys are very talented at what they do, whether that be playing Madden, streaming, or whatever. But, it just kind of is what it is. So, what is I guess your general consensus on Madden 24? Um, I guess like, did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you kind of in the middle? And what do you think about the whole game of Madden 24?
Honestly, I'm gonna probably be in the minority here, but I actually like Madden 24 overall. My only problem was, is when people started bringing the dollar and it started stopping power runs. Obviously, oh yeah, you're whatever they call. I don't remember now, but obviously because I like to run the ball. Oh, I'm a toter. But no, I actually liked it for the main part. I thought it was actually probably their best Madden in the last couple years. I just think that the abilities kind of make the game stupid and arcadish. And I think that you having to spend a bunch of money is ridiculous, and the young kids and the young generation are going to be stuck with like a gambling habit. I mean, even for me as an older person, like it's hard for me not to want to buy, all the packs out there because it's cool looking. X fan, this was your first Madden. I mean, it definitely is a. For me personally, I think this game was better than the last few years. I didn't put it out in the video actually. Now that I think about the wish list, but the number one thing that I wish they brought back, actually, even more than abilities and anything, is the pinch protection, where you could set your offensive lineup and you could pinch protect. The dollar wouldn't work then, so people would have to figure out how to actually change it up and blitz from the outside. Not have the A gap happen. So like it'd be more chess. Like, hey, I think you're gonna blitz up the middle. I put pinch protection down. I block it. I think you're the next time. I think you're gonna come up the middle. You run around it and you get a quick blitz off the edge. But and I mean there always is gonna be glitches in the game, like you were saying, X-Man, about the computer. Like the problem is there's so many people out there playing it, and a lot of people, instead of trying to play the game, they will try to figure out things that dumb out the game for their advantage, and then other people will eventually catch on, and then eventually EA will try to fix it, and then they'll break the next thing, and then that thing will be broken, but they'll fix the original thing, and yada yada. But overall, like, I think one thing they did really good with packs is this year you're guaranteed a top player from whatever pack you bought. Instead of in years past, you could spend $400 or $500 and not even get the top player. So at least they did that better on this. Again, I think there's too many abilities. I think that if they wanted more of the general public to enter into the comp scene, they would do like MUT Draft, where you don't have to spend money. You know what I mean? One tournament, one tournament out of the five, have MUT Draft. People would be pumped. Get to play with cards, and then you know what it'd probably do? It'd probably make people buy packs even more, Trey, because you know they go into MUT Draft, right? They try for a tournament and they lose, but they got to play that Jerry Rice, right, or that Troy Aikman or whoever, and then they want to buy the bundles. But no, I actually thought this game was pretty good. So I know a lot of people hate on the game, which is fine, but I thought for the most part it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, and there's one thing, I mean, I complain about, EA Sports. I, take, some of the people that are in the community I have issues with. It is what it is. You're not going to like everybody that is in the community, but the one thing that I cannot stand are the people that are outside of our community. The people that don't play Madden. They might play one Madden and they get on the game. They play one game and say, "Oh, same as last year," when they have no idea what's going on. That's why, even though I don't agree with people like Ryan Moody, people who I would probably consider a little bit too negative about the state of the game, but I can respect them because I know that at the end of the day, they're actually in the game with us. They're playing, they're, you know, taking the content in and trying to make the game better. But, the people that are just kind of outside just saying, "Oh yeah, it's the same as last year," but they don't, and it's only the sports games too, Shane. Like, I'll be looking at NBA 2K reviews, even though I don't play that. The MLB reviews, the WWE reviews, and all of them is kind of the same thing. It's like, oh well, this game is not good. It's the same. It's just a roster update, whatever. But if you go to other games that are kind of based in the fantasy world, is they have way good reviews. And the conclusion is if you have a game that's about sports, how different can it actually be? Really. So that's kind of my side rant, but I just kind of said that to be even though I don't like those people that say that it's the same game, to me, ever since we kind of moved on to the PS5, the Xbox, whatever the new Xbox console is called, it's pretty much been the same game. I haven't really cared about it one way or another, to be honest. My favorite games recently is Madden 20, Madden 21 on PS4 and Xbox One. Those two games I loved. I loved those games, but to be honest, the other Maddens that came out on the PS5, etc., I feel like they're kind of the same, and I didn't really care about it one way or another. So that's kind of my take on that. So we'll get more into wish list going forward. The one thing that I want to give Shane a shout out about is that I think that he kind of gets it because his wish about making defenders or the run game more effective for when the defense is coming out and nickel and dime packages, that's completely reasonable. So hopefully, my hope is that if by some miracle we get someone from EA that actually listens to us, they can respect that, because it's not like, we're kind of out here saying, make Madden 24 free to play or something ridiculous that's completely unattainable. So, the wish list that me and Shane are going to be doing coming soon is going to be more realistic, kind of tangible stuff that EA can implement into the games. And to XFan, if he's still in the chat, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but, hang on, keep playing Madden, because I do think it'll get better, in all honesty. Alright, so we're getting into the part where I have something up my sleeve, and this one, Shane, I have a random NFL generator queued up. So how this is going to work is that we're only going to do offense. We're not going to do defense, so we're just going to do offense. So I'm going to name you a list of quarterbacks that are randomly generated from this website, and you have to pick one of the positions. And if you don't like the options that I listed, you can choose to do a reroll, but you can only do that once. So hopefully you can understand. And we're going to start out with the quarterback position. If I can get it queued up, here we go. Okay, Shane. So these are your 6 quarterbacks that you have to choose from. If you want, you can reroll to a new batch, but you can only do that one other time. So you got Taysom Hill, Kyler Murray, Jarrett Stidham, or Kyle Trask.
So pick which one I like the best.
Yeah. So for this one, like, if you were to like draft them about how they are in real life, who would you pick? Like if you had to like build a team in real life that you think, in other words, the player that you think is better than the other one in real football.
Oh man, I think I'd go with Kyler Murray. You did say Kyler Murray, right?
Alright, so Shane's quarterback is Kyler Murray. Let me write that down here. Alright, and then we're going to the running back as soon as I figure out this. Alright, Shane, so these are your options at running back. You have Ezekiel Elliott, J.J. Taylor, Jerick McKinnon. So yeah, J.J. Taylor, Jerick McKinnon, or Zeke Elliott.
I'd probably go Ezekiel Elliott. We're talking about prime though, right? Or just now?
Yeah, like current, like right now, currently.
McKinnon then. I'll go with McKinnon.
Alright, so now we're doing the wide receivers and how this is going to work, because there's more than one, so there's just going to be 4 receivers. So, for this one, Shane, I'm going to name the 4 receivers, and you have to tell me if you're going to stick with these core guys or if you just want to do another reroll. So we got Jordan Addison, Chris Godwin, Kevontae Turpin, Rondell Moore, and Matthew Slater.
Reroll that.
Alright. Oh, okay. Shane's decision was good because the first one is Puka Nacua, Scott Miller, Marquez Scandling, and Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, this batch is.
So hell yeah.
Yeah, that would be really good.
That was the number one for sure. Yeah. Alright, hold on. I'm writing all this down.
No, you good, bro. Trey's got his pen and pad going.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, now it's time for the tight ends. Alright, so for tight ends, we got Mike Gesicki, Jonnu Smith. Yeah, so who would you pick in real life currently between Mike Gesicki or Jonnu Smith?
Man, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Gasecki.
Okay, a little bit of a Patriots love. I like it. I like. Actually caught a game-winning touchdown for us in Buffalo, even though he's not on our team anymore. But it is what it is. All right, so let's go with offensive lineman here. All right, so you probably don't know any of these guys, but I'm just gonna just pick the one that has a cool name, I guess. So you got Mason Cole, Nate Gillum, or Corey Levin.
Let's go with Gillum.
All right. All right, so for this week's edition of the podcast, Shane has Kyler Murray as his quarterback. He has Jerick McKinnon. The wide receiver core is full with Puka Nacua, Marquez Scandling, Scott Miller, and Isaiah McKenzie. And at tight end, he has Mike Gesicki, and he drafted Corey Levin at offensive line. I guess for the rest of the line, we can just do generic players. It doesn't really matter. So Shane, with that lineup, how do you feel you did on this edition of the Random NFL Generator?
I think I did pretty good, man. I think I got a pretty good team actually. I think Kyler Murray and we could do the read option and make it work actually.
All right, yes, sir. So we got that going on. I was gonna do a tier list. I know that Shane has been very heavily into Mutt, this last year, obviously because he's a competitive guy, so that's what he does. He does the Ultimate Team because he's trying to get that belt, trying to make that money. But with that being said, I'm curious as to I don't even think you probably played Regs at all this year, and if you did, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you did play Regs at all this year, who is your favorite team to use? Like, if someone were to say, hey, Shane, you're entered into a tournament next week, it's going to be a regular tournament for first place gets $10,000, who do you think you'll be rolling with?
So I did do regs earlier in the year. It was a tournament before the website shut down for money, and I actually did pretty well. And then I lost, I think, in the final four. I used Philly, but right now I'd use the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Kansas City Chiefs would fit me really well.
Yeah, no, Kansas City Chiefs are good, but for sure, I think actually the San Francisco 49ers are the best team to use. Obviously, the quarterback situation, but pretty much the same, probably a better receiver core, honestly. And then you got someone who's comparable to Kelsey, which is George Kittle. You got a good offensive lineman, Trent Williams has an ability. You got the run game is strong with McCaffrey. He's better than whoever the Chiefs got out there if it's McKinnon. And on defense, you got not only do you have Chase Young, but you got Bosa. I mean, the secondary is kind of weak, but then you got Fred Warner at linebacker. So I actually think that the 49ers are the teams to use if anyone out there is looking to play some regular teams in Madden 24. But I guess other than that, we talked about the wish list. We talked a little bit about it Easter in the beginning. again, I hope you guys have a good Easter and that the Easter Bunny brings you some good gifts, whether that be in real life or in Madden. And yeah, I guess that I don't really have anything else to add. You know, we will be back not next Friday, but the Friday after that for another edition of the West Coast Podcast. Appreciate the people that were in here, the chat, and all that, and people that'll watch it back on the replay. We appreciate you guys. Gonna try to stay consistent with doing the podcast when we say we're gonna do it. Obviously, Shane, you know, he's gonna log off. He's going to take his dog to a park, so he's got that going on. So hopefully he doesn't run into a lot of weird people out there in the streets of Spokane. But that's pretty much it for me. I'll throw it back over to Shane to see if there's anything else he wants to touch on and to close this out.
So appreciate you, Trey. Like always, like I think we have a good thing going here. X Fan and Rose were in here the whole podcast. We appreciate you guys being in here. Honestly, hopefully we continue to get more people in here. I know people listen to it afterwards. So we're trying to continuously grow on the podcast. That's what's up, XN. So you got the Madden on mobile, and you're gonna get your stuff tomorrow because you did all the stuff. That's what's up. So you guys, I am I am appreciative. I'm being serious that people tune in and hang out with us. Even if I like make 0 cents, I appreciate it. But no, I will be back 2 weeks from now. We will be back for the podcast. I think it's April 13th. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not next Friday like Trey said. It's a Friday after.
Oh,
Right,
oh, oh yeah. I was just gonna add, like, this is the first podcast where I am 27 years of age, so I had to throw that one in there.
that is correct. That is correct because Trey turned his age 27. Right? That's what you said.
Yeah, 27.
On well March 17th, right? So wait, we didn't do a podcast since then.
Hell, maybe I don't know. I,
I don't remember
I have no idea. Maybe.
Oh man. Anyways, if not, it is his first. If so, oh well. We'll act like it's his first. Um, damn. Hey, shout out. X fan is giving him a shout out for his birthday. Rose is saying he's flexing his age. Like he appreciates it all. Ratio boomer. Hey man, I'm a big boomer then. Anyways, you guys, come drop by Monday if you guys can around 2ish 2:30 to be in the PlayStation tournament with me and chill. But for Trey, I'm Shane on the West Coast podcast. I appreciate you guys like always. We will see you next time. Enjoy Easter. Be safe.